Stop the train near the Spanish border. Passengers waiting there to board her. Villarreal, the last railway station, returning to Lagos, the train's destination. The engines are diesel, but if you inquire, she's far from a maiden, she needs to retire. A modern replacement, an option that's greener, an electric engine is built to be cleaner.
Today, a protester with a petition is asking the public to make a decision. Sign up to say you're against diesel trains. Their engines are filthy, his flyer explains, creating emissions that badly impair the ozone layer and global air.
Stepping on board and others get on. The whistle shrills and the diesel is gone.
On board the train, there's the stamping of feet. Castanets click with a rhythmical beat. The protester accosts them, a pen in his hand. His plan is to get all diesel trains banned.
A mother stands up and she offers to sign. Her name and address she prints on the line. She already knows that it's perfectly true. The fumes of the engine contain CO2.
Travelling past vineyards beneath open sky, glorious countryside passing them by. The mother is seated and expresses some views on a local subject that's made national news. A rig is proposed for the Algarve seabed, so drilling for gas can then go ahead.
But what if there was a catastrophe? Polluting the beaches, the turquoise sea.
Tourism keeps the Algarve alive and would certainly take an instant nosedive.
En route, the Maiden contaminates stations in rural, unspoiled and peaceful locations. She comes in sight of the River Gilao. Crossing the bridge, she's slowing down now. The jewel of the Algarve is getting nearer. She comes to a halt at historic Tavira. It's a living museum, it couldn't be better, and equally quaint is the port of Fusetta.
It's a pity the Maiden's polluting the air, an invisible veil that floats everywhere. Journeying onwards, high hills on the right, the rugged Mount Figo, impressive in height. The tracks run along by a nature reserve, a treasure the Algarve needs to preserve. Laid out with paths and long winding trails, home to chameleons, rabbits and snails, pale pink flamingos where gallinules rest, and the snake-like maiden, an unwelcome pest.
On to the next stop, she's heading there now, past rambling suburbs and into Olhão.
An angry old couple will be catching the train. They're leaving Olhão, but how they complain. They are fanning their noses. The man walks with a stick. A pungent aroma is making him sick.
It's the subject of sewage they can't abide, washed up on the mud flats when it is low tide. Just like the Maiden, the water's unclean. Today it seems worse than it's ever been.
From Olhão to Faro, the train makes her way, picking up speed and avoiding delay, passing the docks and the old city walls. Beside the marina she steadily crawls.
Suddenly, the roar of a low-flying plane, its emissions more grey than an old diesel train. By the rear Formosa is ready to land.
So close to the city it ought to be banned.
At Faro station, an actress got on. There's a job in Lagos she's relying upon. She's auditioning there with an improvisation, Her beauty is such she will be a sensation. She walks down the aisle, and that is the trigger for a bishop to notice her rare hourglass figure. The bishop, who's wearing a stiff white dog collar, gets up and shakes hands and says he's a scholar.
He opens his case, and the actress grows brighter as soon as he shows her his big purple mitre. Asserting his status, he could not have been firmer when he gets out with pride his gold incense burner. The actress, amazed and truly transfixed. What else has he got in that case full of tricks?
Once people have taken their seats on the train, the dancer can do her flamenco again. Tapping her toes and drumming her heels, she quickens her pace in time with the wheels. Seated nearby, a grandmother and child, approached by the dancer by now going wild. Disliking the clatter of loud castanets, the child turns her back and types out a text.
A jogger has recently got on the train. She'll get off quite soon and jog home again. She decides in the carriage that it is wise to warm up her muscles with mild exercise. The protester then shows the jogger his flyer about diesel exhausts and how they are dire. The wording inside quite clearly states diesels pour out pollution as airborne sulfates.
The jogger looks worried. She really does care. She pulls up her scarf to block out the air. At Parc de Cidade, the jogger alights. She looks for those oxides and filthy chlorites. The platform is empty. Nothing is there. Not even an office for paying your fare. A notice advises you pay on the train. With no one to pick up, it sets off again.
Next stop is Lule. She comes down the tracks and picks up two women with heavy backpacks.
Once the train has arrived, on they both get. They know the protester they've already met. They're friends of the earth and used to protesting against nuclear war and atomic bomb testing. Before they get off at Bullichem, the protester has signed up both of them. They all agree that the Maiden's a threat. She turns rain into acid whenever it's wet.
Turning inland, Tunes is the junction that serves a crucial railway function. Change there for Lisbon to the Pendular, an electric train with a buffet car.
Tapping the actress on her shoulder, "That train's electric," the bishop told her. He's read the flyer and he knows for sure when God made the air it was meant to be pure. Patting the actress on her arm, he praises the Algarve solar farm. His passion is roused. He cannot resist as he strokes her gently on the wrist. He enthuses about some wind turbines standing on the hills in lines. Most people look. They see Monchique, the Algarve's tallest mountain peak. The child ignores the beautiful view. She's computer games she'd rather do. The grandma's frustrated. The child's too involved with pointless games that have to be solved. The young mother is wise and gives some suggestions to play games that answer important questions. She explains to the child global warming is due to excess emissions of the gas CO2. Taking the phone, she says she'll arrange to find her a game called Climate Change.
Heading off to Gare Sils, then turning south, crossing the river in sight of its mouth, the maiden starts braking. She's slowing down now, approaching the city that is Portimão. It's an urban location, but then going west, rural scenes of the country are some of the best. Picking up speed, the faster she goes, the maiden's ambition steadily grows, noisily racing past Mayor Pryor, where developers have a strong desire for more hotels and apartment blocks by a quiet beach.
That's a paradox.
A right-hand bend into Lagos Station, the maiden has reached her destination.
Leaving the station, they all say ciao. Some have become good friends by now. The protester is going to Lagos Marina to tell motorboat owners they need to be cleaner. Burning up gallons of fossil fuels, they're breaking environmental rules. He also explains that what he requires is help from the others to hand out more flyers.
The bishop agrees it's his aspiration to leaflet his Catholic congregation.
The actress is able to distribute later to audience members at the theatre.
The mother is willing to circulate flyers, and the child with the iPhone also acquires several pamphlets she'd like to hand out. Since the subject is one she's just learned about, she's already written a number of tweets, and the two Spanish ladies will go round the streets, busking for money and handing out flyers stating it's time that the maiden retires.
The Romany mother, without any delay, hands a man a flyer straight away. He's come to take photos of the old train. He's a railway enthusiast, and starts to explain there is news he has gleaned from the Railway Gazette that will put the protesters' mind at rest. He starts to share his information, the line to undergo electrification, work to commence in 2018, the route to become atmospherically clean. Now the petition is no longer required. The protester has got the result he desired. At least, when the maiden has run out of time,
her journey can still be remembered in rhyme.